In the DCC's annual plan, the service objective for the Botanic Garden is to encourage and support learning and leisure by providing accessible and quality botanic gardens for residents and visitors. There are many and diverse ways in which our garden provides knowledge, expertise and information for this to happen, and these are some examples shared by informed people from their particular perspective.
Here we have something that is not only of a pleasure to the residents and visitors in terms of what you see, but is in terms of the education aspect of the people that are working here. In 2003, 4 trades apprenticeships came together with the Botanic Garden and set up an apprenticeship program, essentially allowing a number of people each year to come in to a 3-year program and to go through a structured training program which would then give them a qualification in amenity horticulture, second to none. One that would allow them to travel throughout the world in recognition because of the status that this garden has. The people that go through their time here are worked really hard, and the job itself is demanding, but put a qualification process on top of that and put the level of dedication that the curators in each of the collections put not only into their collection but into passing that knowledge on, and we have a very unique learning environment here. The outcome is that you have highly trained individuals coming out, many of them go into landscaping and horticulture, some go into propagation and other parts of the industry, some travel and go to other botanic gardens. Long term it would be great to see this become even more of an institution in terms of as we go up through the higher levels of training.
One of my functions is to introduce students to different plants and how to identify them. To do this, I use the Botanic Gardens on a regular basis. It's right on our doorstep and ideal for them. It is a melange of all kinds of different plant forms and different little micro ecosystems for them to explore.
I had worked with native plants for years, so a publisher approached me about writing a book about gardening with native plants, which I duly wrote as requested. And a reasonable proportion of the photographs came from within these botanic gardens. So I enjoy the way that these gardens are separated into different nationalities, which enables people like me in that situation to be able to access the plants they are looking for very easily. I myself, using natives in garden situations, they can be totally intermingled, but in a botanic garden situation it's slightly different.
I think it's an integral part of community to have open space, and to have something that is managed in such an amazing way is a huge asset for Dunedin.
I'm standing here in Lovelock Bush. This is a piece of regenerating native bush. One of the tourist attractions in the 19th century for New Zealand was to come and see the land of ferns. And just around here where we're standing, I can count straight off at least half a dozen different species of ferns that are now developing in the undergrowth. And these will continue to develop and spread and change, ideal for teaching purposes and very, very handy for the community.
The size of the gardens is quite significant already, but to make the changes and to bring more of it into a managed way, to allow the development of other areas with the management of different species, new resources in terms of putting new propagation units and things like that as part of development. It's fantastic. They operate a seed program here that exchanges seed around the world. They are the curators effectively of different species, and they help them survive. And I think the ability to attract the World Conference that's coming up in 2013 is quite significant, and the Botanic Garden has to be mindful of that in any development it's making, because it really is on the world stage.
The Botanic Garden is many things to many people, and that's probably why it's so valued by most of us who live in this community. Whether we want to feed ducks, admire plants in all their splendour, study more deeply into the science of it all, or just relax with friends in a peaceful and attractive environment. What the garden offers in respect to learning is just one strand of the rope, but it's a good example of the depth offered by the city asset through its resources. The plant knowledge, expertise and information available are invaluable for those who are involved in training, research and study. a living museum with fascinating stories and a huge potential for new ways of being used. In 2013, there will have been 150 years of investment in our Botanic Garden, and it becomes more relevant and useful each year as that investment increases and gains interest. Its value to our culture, history, learning and well-being will keep on growing for the benefit of those who live here and the appreciation of those who come to visit. In 2013, Dunedin will host the World Botanic Congress because people from overseas recognise the investment we've made in our garden and have decided we are world class. We should accept their judgment, celebrate it, and make sure we don't fall short of that in the future.